What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another link video. This time, Frank Kessie, who has been, I'm gonna say, strongly linked to a potential move this summer. Maybe not one of the names that anyone was expecting at the start of the season or at the start of the transfer window. You can say that about Lukaku, Weah, like a lot of names, basically all the names who've been linked to it. Um, but he is being linked with us, and it's actually a strong link. It's not a done deal type of rumor, but the potential of him joining is there. It's absolutely there. So we need to get into it. Quick look again, as always. If we sign him, Julian will do the coach's corner as he usually does, and he will go into more depth on Frank Kessie, obviously. But for now, just a quick look what he could offer, what he could bring, what the rumors are basically, and what could that mean also not just for our season, but also for certain players who are already in the squad. This moment in time, when I'm recording this video. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. Okay, before I do that, really quickly, I'm sick, so my voice is kind of gone. So if it disappears throughout the video, um, it is what it is. But yeah, Frank Kessie, it's a real link. It's not like the Thomas Partey link that kind of came out of nowhere and died within an hour. But it's the links are from good sources. Actually, from all the main sources, even in Spain. They're suggesting that this is a real possibility. Um, the idea the club has is we're going to take him on a loan move. We're going to loan him, hopefully, or that's what they hope, on a loan with an option to buy for around 20 million. Now, Barcelona want an obligation. They're open to loan him. They're open to let him leave, but they rather have an obligation at this moment in time. The big issue with this move is Kessie is he didn't tell the club or anyone saying I want to leave. If he wants to leave, he rather goes to the Premier League than go back to the Serie A. He doesn't have anything against joining Juve. He has, at this moment in time, something against going back to the Serie A. He wants to do the Premier League. The issue is there are no offers in the Premier League. The only offer he has is from Juve at this moment in time. So convincing is needed if you want to bring him in. I don't think convincing Barcelona is really needed because they're very open to let him leave. I think that's very obvious. It's just convincing Frank Kessie. And who is Frank Kessie? I think everybody knows. He played for Milan. He played for Atalanta. But, lately he played for Milan. Shockingly, or for me personally, maybe because I don't watch the Spanish league that much, he played quite a lot for Barcelona, and I was shocked because I was going off the impression that he didn't play. I thought like 1/3 of the game. Well, it's actually almost double. 43 appearances. Actually, his yellow card, red card ratio is pretty neat. It's clean. 3 goals, 3 assists. That's nice. But that's not really what I'm expecting from Frank Kessie. Overall, he played a lot of games, more than I thought. And again, I don't watch Barcelona that much. I don't watch La Liga that much because I'm not a fan of the league, of that league. I'd rather watch the Bundesliga or the French league, if I'm being honest, or the Dutch league. But from what I've read, he didn't have a terrible season. It's just, yes, they have Gavi, they have Pedri, they have De Jong. Like, that's what it is now. But he didn't have a terrible season. I don't think Frank Kessie is a terrible player. I think actually he's a very good player. A player who will do very well for you in a team. The issue is with what I have with the move is that I rather think we should be spending that money in different positions. Now, I'm not going to go into that in this video because it's about Frank Kessie and what he could offer and what it could mean for other players in that midfield. I don't have an issue against signing Frank Kessie. The question is, where is he going to play? Because his main position, central midfield, I'm going to say more defensive. Like, he can play defensive midfield. And if you bring him in, that's what you're going to bring him in for. Now, what does that mean for Rovella? Because he's gonna stay and he plays that position. Obviously, Locatelli played it for us like season a lot. He's not gonna do that. I hope. I hope so. But you know, you're gonna, yes, you need cover. I get it. You need cover. Fine, you need cover. But I was assuming that okay, Rovella can play that. The cover could be Locatelli potentially. You still have Fagioli. You have Rabiot, you have Pogba or whatever you have Pogba because he's still not fit at this moment in time, and he might leave. He might still leave. You have Miretti, who I think will leave on loan. That maybe it makes sense. Like if you let Miretti go, if Pogba leaves as well, okay, makes sense. But I'm a bit worried about Rovella because I was hoping he will get the job, and I know about his injury problems. But I was like, okay, if he gets injured, we can bring in Locatelli, and he can do a good enough job. Excuse me. Um, but apparently, that's not really what the club is thinking. They're thinking we need him more than we need at this moment in time a left back, a right back, a center back. Maybe they know something we don't know. Maybe Pogba's actually really going out the door, and Miretti is 100% set on a loan move. That he will leave on a loan. We don't know for now, but we are actually pushing for Kessie. Or Juntoli is trying to push for Kessie, and Allegri is trying to push for. Now, excuse me, but that's a scenario at this moment in time. And we need to take note of it and look at can he offers. I think if he joins, he will offer us something. He will. I don't think he will be a flop if that makes any sense. It's just I think we need something else. Now, as we always do, injuries because that's kind of key. He's kind of clean. It is sort of like what I gathered from the transfer market, and maybe that's not complete. Fine, but we always go off that list for the last 2 years on this channel. It's normal. He missed a couple of games. The issue is, or like the luck, basically, quote unquote luck. A lot of those days he missed were in during international breaks and the summer. So that could potentially be 6 games, or 5 games and 6 games twice, So it's about luck basically. But other than that, like the injuries are just standard, muscle injury, like yeah, these things happen. It is what it is. So it's not major, it's not chronicle, whatever. It's just box standard, clean, good enough, Um, so I don't think that's any of the issues. I like this motor, his engine, like during a game. I like that. Is he a player that's beautiful on the eye, like first touch and all those things? Nah, But I'm not expecting that from that type of player. I'm not, not like I'm not expecting uh, any like Gattuso wasn't good, amazing on the ball, but like he was an engine you needed in that team. If you know what, and I'm not comparing him to Gattuso or whatever, but like some players have another job than being very excellent, good on the ball, and I think I'm more leaning towards that when I watch Kessie than wow, amazing. But he's pretty decent, he's actually very good, on the ball. Like not, I don't think that's an issue as well. Now, as I always do, I pick out a stat to end it, and I kind of did it a little bit in a strange way now. Interceptions. I took interceptions because he is one of those players for me, and I've always like when I watch Kessie, I'm like, man, he can not wreck your game, but he can frustrate your game if you are playing against him. Because if he's on fire, he's on fire, and you will know that he's in that midfield. And I hated it when he was on fire because he was everywhere and he was messing things up for us. Excuse me, and that's what he does. He has one interception a game. I picked a couple of names out who play in a certain position, and actually I made a list, and most players, unless you are talking about world class top players, they get around half or zero point 0.7 interceptions a game. That's like kind of the average, unless you go big time players. One Good, good, very good in my opinion. And I picked out that stat because that's the first thing that came up in my mind when I think about Kessie. He kind of makes your could make your life if you play against him a bit miserable, especially when you have a certain way you're playing. He's always in there. He's in your face, and I hated it when we played against him. I appreciate it, as a football fan, but as a fan of another club playing against him, I hated it. I was like, damn it, here he is again. Intercepting, making a tackle, holding up, play pretty decent as well, but also kind of disrupting whatever was going on. That's what I think when I hear Frank Kessie, and that's what I think the club is actually going for. I don't think Rovella can do that, but I think Rovella is much better in possession. He's better on the ball. He can distribute play much better. So they're different type of players, obviously, but the coach is Allegri. That's the obvious point, and yes, he will suit Allegri. It's just that I think we need that money to be spent in other positions. That's all I'm saying. Nothing against Frank Kessie. I don't think he's a bad player at all. It's just, man, do we need to do that deal? Because he's on a lot of money. I think he's on 5.5 million euros. That you also need to, keep into in the back of your mind. He's not old. He's 26. He will be 27 now. So it's clean, like prime years coming up. So that's not the issue. It's just priorities. But let me know in the comments what you think about Frank Kessie. Do we need him? Do you like him? Or do you not like him? And do we not need him? Excuse me. Let me know. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. I will be back for another link video for probably home, I guess, or who knows? Maybe some new name pops up. Maybe it's Jonathan David, if it gets any concrete, basically. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Ciao.